PMAC back for a PMAC perspective video. I don't really know what I want to talk about in this, but the thing is, I've wanted to make a video for this channel for, I'm always thinking about things to talk about, and then I just never, either something comes up and I don't make the video, or I can't just get my thoughts together enough. So I think I just need to make some simplistic videos just to get some discussion out there. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Anybody here is either somebody who's looking to troll, or is somebody who is a deep thinker and is realizing that things that are going on right now are not making sense to the slightest. This also isn't for the crowd that believes in the Fox News perspective that Trump's on our side and all that stuff. That's just kind of that's like a mainstream conspiracy theory. The system's putting that out there so that you are waiting for a savior, you're waiting for somebody to help you. And I wasn't going to talk about that part of it, but that's actually a big piece of it. The system's always wanting you to rely on saviors or rely on other people to fix your problems. If we vote in a new politician, they'll take care of everything. You wait for Jesus, he'll come and take out the bad guys. You just wait for your savior, and everything will be taken care of. And that is totally a creation of the system. They're always wanting you to wait for something external to help you. But we know we only have control over our own selves. We know that. So waiting for anything doesn't help you. Will some external thing help you once in a while in your life? Yeah, but you only can focus on what you have control of. So if you're focusing on some external source to save you or help you, you're not focused on what you need to focus on, which is taking care of yourself, your own well-being, whether it be, psychological, spiritual, physical. You need to be the one who says, this is what I have control of, this is what I need to do. You can't just look for external sources. Oh, this group's going to save us, or this or that. No, it's you. You can save yourself. And it's tough to think about, but I think that's it. You can save yourself, and I don't think anybody can do it for you. Could they help you? Could they give you good advice? Could they help guide you? Yes, but you have to be willing to take it. But that wasn't what I wanted to make. I was just thinking a few minutes before I started this video, I was thinking back in March, April, I think it was probably April when all this stuff kind of was getting going. It might have been March. I'm not sure now, but I just posted links to some videos that I watch, that talk about how what's going on is not what we're told. And there was some, there was some people who were positive about it, and those are probably the people who subscribe to this PMAC Perspective channel. I posted those links, and some people were interested in them. And some people know I know some people who passed away. I know some people, there's a bunch of people sick, stuff like that. And there are some areas where it sounds like more people were getting ill during that time. But I mean, with the information that we have now, and just seeing what's around you, it's been 6 months. It's been 6 months now. It's been like half a year. It's the end of August now. This was wasn't it the beginning of March when all this stuff happened? So almost 6 months. And to find people who were affected by the specific thing that we're told that, we would be affected by, you watch movies on this sort of thing. There's people dropping in the streets. There's people in horrible agony. How much of that have you actually seen in your life versus the restrictions that have been placed upon us? I mean, that's all I've seen is people being affected by the restrictions. not the actual what they've said that these restrictions are in place for. And I'm trying to not use certain words, but they're saying what these restrictions are there for, and most people haven't seen anything of that. And also, if you wanted to create some illnesses in areas, you could manipulate the air quality, you can manipulate the food quality, you can manipulate the water. Oh no, that could never it's like, there's these people who are so like anti anything that they have been taught to believe, and they feel like they're anti-conspiracy theory, but they're just basically anti like thought outside of what they're programmed to think. It's not, you put the label conspiracy theory on things, and right away people that have been into that kind of stuff are going to look into it, or probably over 90% are just going to be turned off by it. But we see truth, like the conspiracies are true. It's conspiracy truth. We see it all over. They're not just theories, a lot of this stuff. And then there is a lot of BS out there. But think about, it's been 5-6 months since I posted those. And what has affected people's lives? It's obvious what's affected people's lives. And people were just, calling me loony, not that word exactly, but calling me crazy. And, look at what's happening. If it was summer of last year and you saw people acting like they're acting now with the constant cleaning, the spraying Lysol on everything, the masks, the plastic barriers, the 6 feet, you'd be like, what? This is freaking nuts. And just because of this so-called reason for doing it, they can do all this stuff. They can put all this stuff into place. No good reason, but all it is people's belief. If you can get people to believe something, you can get them to act kind of the way that you want them to act, which is what we've seen. And there are a lot of people questioning things more now, I feel like, but they're not really enough for it to really accomplish much. I guess I want to see what you guys think. I don't want to go too deep into this time. I just wanted to get some stuff out there, get some brief thoughts out there. There's a lot of stuff. But it's weird how it's, I don't know if it's weird, but it's like the way that they can make sane people look crazy and crazy people look sane, and just upside down everything, which it's become even more obvious to me now. And hopefully, this is actually an opportunity too for people that were kind of on the fence. Or like, things aren't quite making sense. And then all this stuff happened, to be able to see that, like, this is like, something is really, really wrong here. This is a chance for a lot of people to realize that. And to get to the depth of where I think it goes, that's really tricky too, because it gets to some really things that are going to sound really, really strange to people if you get into some depth on it. A lot of people do stop at that, Trump Republican thing. Trump is going to be doing such and such and putting people in jail and, stuff like that. Whatever that thing. And that's kind of where people fall. It gets scarier as you move past that, as far as what the heck's really going on here. And it's hard for a lot of people to move past it. To question certain things in life is very, very difficult for people. But if you're trying to figure out what the actual truth is, you end up questioning everything. If you haven't questioned pretty much everything, or you laugh at somebody who's questioning a particular thing, you probably still have some work to do, because we're lied to from a very young age. Our parents have been lied to from a very young age. All the adults around us have been lied to from a very young age. So pretty much everything that we thought we know has to be questioned. And I was thinking too, like, would people who got on me when I posted those links several months ago, 5-6 months ago, would they ever apologize and say, you know, I realize now that, like, it's not what they said it was. Like, it's become obvious. You never get that. You never get that. Like, I'm sorry, like, I've looked into things more, and I'm starting to see that you never get any apologies from people or anything. I would never expect to. I would never expect to get any, because these people are just, they're in that zone. They're in that, and they're going to be defending it. They're going to be defending that territory because they're not, I don't know if it's psychologically or maybe spiritually, they're not able to break through certain barriers. And we're not going to be able to break their barriers either. And it's like, oh, I want to post this on Facebook. Oh, I want to make a video about this. But it's like, you're preaching to the choir, or you're turning off a bunch of people who cannot process that information in a way that it could be useful to them. And so debating with people becomes, what's the point of debating? Like, with a lot of people, my research and my stuff that I've done is so far beyond anything. They're watching, like, CNN, Fox News, or whatever. My research has gone so far beyond that how can I present my material and get them to see it? They're just going to think I'm a crazy bastard. So most of the time, it's better to just shut up. I did have a person who was like she seemed really interested in this stuff, and I talked to her about it. She's like, she didn't say it was crazy or anything. Like, she's the type of person who doesn't think deeply about stuff, but she was like, said she was interested, and she always finds it interesting when people post certain things on Facebook and things like that. So this is a person I know, like actually in person, not just online. So, I talked to her about stuff, and I probably went way too far with what I said. Like, I started at the end, but she wanted to know, and it was like, it's really hard to explain stuff, but she was kind of pushing me. And so me and her kind of sit down and talk like once a month. So I didn't actually, and she said, oh, next month, tell me what you've been researching. Well, next month came, and she didn't want to hear about anything anymore. She was kind of like awkward about it. Like, something happened to her. I don't know. It's really weird. She didn't want to get into that at all anymore. And I didn't push it at all. I didn't push it on her the first time. She was asking questions to get to it, or else I wouldn't have said anything. But she's totally like, didn't want it, because I brought up a couple things about it not being, and she was totally like, the barrier was there. And she mentioned something about her daughter being sick and got tested for the CV, and she was negative, but somehow that affected her. Her daughter was sick, so like she didn't want to hear anything. And it was really, really strange. And she tested negative, but she was like, she didn't want to. It was just, it's weird how like that kind of stuff happens a lot, where people just like, at first she was welcoming the information and asking questions, and then all of a sudden it was like, I don't want to hear anything. A month later, she did not want to hear anything. But anyway, and she's kind of, given the kind of the, she's kind of being passive about it, like kind of looking away and stuff. So you could tell she was kind of awkward, and you could tell like, I should not go anywhere near that again. So, I didn't. I'm not pushing. I'm not the type of, oh, you gotta listen, or like start arguing. Like, no, it's a waste of my time to argue with people that don't want to hear anything. So people aren't going to apologize, and people aren't going to really ask. People maybe once in a great while, if they're somewhat open, they'll ask like, why do you think that? Like, usually it's just cut you off. Boom. No, I don't want to hear it. You are laughing at you or poking fun at you. Like, that's ridiculous. They don't ask, well, why? that's how I got to be kind of where I am, is asking questions like, well, that seems weird to me, or that doesn't seem right to me. But why does that person think that? That's kind of what I want to know. And then as I did that, it was like, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. And then you start piecing more and more together over the years. I mean, it's been 8 years kind of since I started researching and stuff, which I kind of wanted to make a video too on, like, how I did get into this stuff. Because obviously it wasn't always. It was, I grew up Catholic. So if you guys are interested in the PMAC life story, how I got into crazy thinking, crazy bastard thinking, let me know in the comments, and we can kind of get into that. But it's just, so people will never apologize for, like, talking down to you or treating you poorly because of your beliefs, even when it becomes like, I mean, it's really, if you have eyes to see, it's obvious now that it is totally not what they're saying. It is very, very apparent. And people will pretty much never ask, well, why do you think that? Like, what kind of led you to that? What led you to this? Like, what led you to thinking that? It's always like, it's like, you get the passive people who are like, you can tell they're uncomfortable talking about it. And they're kind of like, they don't want to be direct, but they're like, they're looking away. They're not making eye contact. Like, they're uncomfortable with it. So let me know what you guys think about anything I talked about in this video. Kind of, here and there, random stuff. I didn't have any like plan of attack here for this video, but definitely interested. I do appreciate you guys watching, and it's a time where like-minded people, and you don't have to agree on everything, but like-minded people kind of we have to connect, because it's a very trying time. So reach out to old PMAC and leave some feedback in the comment section. We'll see you next time.